The Union College Fighting Dutchmen try to win their first non-conference game since the end of the 2011 season when they traveled to Springfield, Massachusetts to face the Western New England Golden Bears. After failing to score on a 15-play drive in their opening possession, Union looked to Darnell Thomas in the beginning of their next possession to finish the job as called here by Frank Rossi, Carl Maudino, and Tom Santa Barbara of the Dutchman Radio Network.
And it's going to be a handoff to Darnell Thomas. He's free to the 40, 35-30. He is gone. It's a 45-yard touchdown, Union College. Darnell Thomas. There's an injury for Union on the field, but I will tell you with 3:57 remaining here in the first quarter, 6-0 Union leads to the point pending, and it looks like Pete Miley is back on the ground.
Again, yeah, this time holding his left knee.
Unfortunately for the Dutchmen, injuries would become all too common as later in the game, quarterback Connor Eck would leave the game and leave the stadium on crutches after sustaining a bad ankle injury. The Golden Bears would respond with an 8-play drive with quarterback John Krafik rushing it in from 5 yards out for a touchdown for a 7-7 game. Union would recover the ensuing onside kick and move the ball for a David Pope 28-yard field goal for a 10-7 lead early in the second quarter. The Dutchman would again later have a long drive in the quarter, but again could not find the end zone. On the 13th play, Pope hit a 26-yard field goal to give the Dutchman a 13-7 lead at halftime. Neither team could assert themselves offensively through most of the third quarter, with Western New England missing a 30-yard field goal midway through the period. They soon would bounce back, though, thanks to an Eck interception taken to the Union 7. 2 plays later,
second and goal, 7-yard line here after that interception, and it's a completion for a touchdown, Western New England. Again to Andrew Walls, number 81, from 7 yards out with 2:14 remaining here in the third quarter. It's tied 13-13, but the Golden Bears of Western New England have the point pending.
Yeah, just nice throw, nice catch. Union caught on the blitz. They had Barrett out there on an island.
The extra point would be wide right, however, keeping the 13-13 tie alive late in the third quarter. After Union failed to score in the first drive of the fourth quarter, the Golden Bears would take their first lead of the game as Kevin Cook rushed it in from 5 yards out for a 20-13 lead with 9:47 left in regulation. Thomas would again establish the run for the Dutchman in the ensuing drive, eventually scoring from 3 yards out for the tying score. With neither team scoring for the remainder of the fourth quarter, the game went into overtime. Union won the toss and chose to play defense first. In the process, they watched the Golden Bears score a touchdown on a 9-yard Cook run. With the extra point good, Union knew they had to match or beat the 7 points. Thomas ran the ball well again for the Dutchman, getting it to the 1-yard line.
First and goal from that 1-yard line. Kalanta in front of Darnell Thomas. Handoff, Darnell Thomas. He is walking into the end zone untouched. Touchdown, Union College. Here's the call. They are going for the tie here. The extra point to force a second overtime. Snap, spot, kick is up. It is good. We are going to a second overtime for only the second time in Union history.
With the score 27-27, Union had to take offense first in the second overtime. With the Dutchman only able to move the ball to the 11-yard line, Pope was called on again for the Dutchman.
Pope to give Union the lead. Snap, spot, kick is up. It's a wobbler, but it's good. It's 30-27, halfway through the second overtime. Union with the lead.
Well, nice kick by David Pope, but the work begins now for the Union defense. They've got to hold him.
And they have to take down Andrew Walls in terms of his abilities here, Tom.
Western New England looked to respond right away.
Okay, it's 1st and 10, 25-yard line. Krafik in trouble. He's going to throw toward the end zone. No, caught! Touchdown, Western New England. They win the game. 25 yards. Walls with the catch.
Yep,
33-30 final. Western New England wins the game in double overtime.
Give Western New England a lot of credit.
Offensively, in the 33-30 game, the teams played evenly, with Union collecting 402 yards to the Golden Bears 401. Krafik completed 21 of his 32 passes for 304 yards and 2 touchdowns. Walls caught both of those touchdowns and had 183 yards on 10 catches. For Union, Thomas rushed for 165 yards on 25 carries and 3 touchdowns. Defensively, Nathan Fleming had 16 tackles for Western New England, while Casey Muse had 16 for Union. Union moves to 2-4 overall with the loss as the team prepares to travel to Rochester next weekend. In the weekend's only league matchup, the Rochester Yellow Jackets traveled to Troy, New York to face the RPI Engineers. Rochester special teams helped start the scoring early after RPI couldn't convert on their first possession, as called here by WRPI's Kurt Stutt and Bob Conway.
Franks fumbles the snap and low kick picked up by Rochester at the 20 to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown. Rochester leads 6-0. Franks had trouble with the snap, got the ball, then punted it, but it only went about 8 yards, got picked up by a Rochester player, and he ends up going in for the TD, and Rochester leads 6-0.
RPI quarterback Jeff Avery would respond in the team's next drive, scoring on a 2-yard run for a 7-7 tie not even 5 minutes into the game. Eventually, RPI's Jesse Maynard would return as the team's quarterback and led his team down the field before a 1-yard keeper for the go-ahead touchdown. Andrew Frank's extra point made it 14-7 early in the second quarter. Rochester's Miles Allen would respond immediately with a 57-yard run to the RPI 13. 6 plays later, he'd score on a 1-yard touchdown, tying the game after a Mark Tarosian extra point. After RPI couldn't generate a score in the ensuing drive, Allen again would be called on by Rochester for a second touchdown, this time from 5 yards out, giving the Yellow Jackets a 20-14 lead after Tarosian's kick failed. With 2 minutes left in the half, Rochester was able to put some distance between the teams after a trick play led to a 69-yard pass completion from Garrett Kiesel to Derek Wager. This led to a 25-yard field goal by Tarosian for a 23-14 lead with just 46 seconds left in the half. This wouldn't stop RPI from making a last statement in the half, though.
First and 10 at the 24. Maynard rolls right, puts the ball up in the air, looking end zone, and caught by Hogan. Touchdown! Pongio thought he was going to get an INT, and Hogan raced in front of him, grabbed the ball, and he's got the TD.
That was a wonderful series, well-timed, just terrific, and a big lift for the Engineers.
The halftime score would be 23-21 Rochester. The third quarter was relatively quiet for both teams. That was until Rochester quarterback Dean Kennedy decided to tuck it and run from his own 31.
Kennedy doesn't see anything downfield, starts to run with the ball. Kennedy stays on his feet, runs to the sideline, gets a block. He's got a first down. Kennedy to the 50, to the 40, still going. Got room to the 30, to the 20. Kennedy to the 10, 5, touchdown. Kennedy runs 69 yards, and Rochester goes up 29-21.
The Rochester lead was extended to 30-21 after the Tarosian extra point. Yet again, RPI was undeterred and would respond early in the fourth quarter after a long drive concluded this way from the 1.
Second and goal at the 1. Maynard, low snap, gives to Schlatt again, caught from behind. No, he's in. He is in for the TD, and RPI pulls closer. It's 30-27 in Rochester's favor.
With the 30-28 lead, Kennedy led his team down the field on an epic 14-play, 75-yard drive, with Kennedy scoring on a 6-yard rush of his own for a 37-28 lead with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. RPI could only drive to the Rochester 31 in the next drive, allowing Franks to kick a 48-yard field goal, bringing the score back inside one possession, 37-31 Rochester, with less than 4 minutes remaining. The Yellow Jackets ate up most of the remaining clock before punting it away to RPI with 24 seconds left, but Maynard couldn't complete any passes from 61 yards out, securing the 37-31 Rochester victory. Kennedy ended up rushing for nearly as many yards as he passed for, as he had 112 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground and 119 yards in the air despite his 3 interceptions. Allen led all rushers with 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. Maynard and Avery combined for a 14-for-26 day passing with 260 yards and 1 touchdown. Tight end Joe Casalino led all receivers with 129 yards on 6 catches. Rochester's Tony Ortega led his team with 14 tackles, including a sack, while RPI's Brandon Cook had 12 tackles and a forced fumble. With the win, Rochester moves to 4-2 overall and 2-1 in the league before hosting Union next. RPI drops to 3-3 and 0-3 respectively before traveling to Hobart.